The most dangerous people in the world are not the strongest. They're not the loudest. And they're rarely the most intelligent. They're the people nobody can predict. Because once people stop understanding your next move, they lose control over you. Human beings are addicted to patterns. We study them, trust them. The moment someone can predict your reactions, they begin writing your story before you do. They know when you'll forgive. And once they know that, your freedom slowly disappears. Not through force, but through predictability. That's why becoming unpredictable feels dangerous. Because it destroys the map people use to navigate you. Suddenly, they don't know what you're thinking. And uncertainty terrifies people. Most people don't fear rejection. They fear uncertainty. They fear not knowing what comes next. Because uncertainty creates anxiety, and anxiety demands answers. The more unpredictable you become, the more space you occupy inside their minds. Think about the person you couldn't figure out. The one who never explained everything. The one who remained a mystery. You probably thought about them more than anyone else. Not because they chased attention, but because they denied certainty. This is where power begins. Not in controlling people, but in becoming impossible to control. And the first step is learning the psychology of silence. Because silence forces people to reveal themselves, while noise reveals you. The moment you stop explaining yourself, something strange happens. People start creating their own explanations, and most of them reveal more about them than they do about you. Predictable people give everyone access. Unpredictable people create distance, and distance creates mystery. Notice what happens when you stop reacting. The people who depended on your reactions become uncomfortable. Because your reaction was their source of certainty, and certainty feels like control. Most people never realize how predictable they are. Human beings are pattern recognition machines. If you repeat something often enough, people stop seeing you. They only see the pattern. And that's exactly where unpredictability becomes power. The moment you break the pattern, everyone notices. The quiet person suddenly speaks. The emotional person suddenly becomes calm. The available person suddenly disappears. And people become obsessed with understanding why. Not because they care. Because uncertainty creates psychological tension. That's why disappearing is often louder than speaking. Silence forces imagination to do the work. The less information you give people, the more information they invent. And those projections become their reality, not because they're true, but because uncertainty demands a story. This is why unpredictable people are remembered. Not for what they revealed, but for what they left unanswered. But there is a darker side to this transformation, because the more unpredictable you become, the more alone you may feel. And that loneliness changes everything. Most people believe unpredictability is a strategy, a mask, a technique, something you do to influence others. But eventually, it becomes something deeper. Because the more you detach from expectations, the less power those expectations have over you. You stop asking, "What do they want from me?" and begin asking, "What do I want from myself?" That question changes everything, because most people spend their lives performing. Very few spend their lives becoming. And once you stop performing, many relationships begin to disappear. Not because you changed, because the role they assigned you no longer exists. The agreeable version, the predictable version, gone. And that makes people uncomfortable, because your unpredictability forces them to face uncertainty within themselves. Suddenly, they don't know how to manipulate you, how to guilt you, how to control you. And when manipulation fails, people often reveal who they truly are. This is the hidden cost of growth. You don't lose people because you became worse. You lose people because you became harder to control. But here's the twist nobody talks about. The greatest power of unpredictability has nothing to do with other people. The real power is becoming unpredictable to your own fears. The fear expects you to quit, to retreat, to stay small. But one day, you choose differently. And that's when everything changes. Because the most unpredictable person in the world is not someone others can't understand. It's someone who refuses to be limited by who they used to be. The moment you become unpredictable to your past, you become free. If this video changed the way you see human behavior, subscribe to Mind Hidden, because the most dangerous transformations happen silently, and the next one might already be happening inside you.